All right, today you're going to need a colored piece of paper to be the background, a white piece of paper, a pencil, a glue stick, crayons, and that's it. You might want scissors, but I'm going to show you how we can tear our paper to make a landscape. So keeping the colored paper whole, tear a long strip off of the white paper. We're tearing it because that gives it a fuzzy edge and that makes it look more like snow. Start by gluing that snow strip to the bottom of your paper. This is going to create a snow-covered ground. So a colored piece of paper in behind, any color will do, and then gluing that snowy strip on there. You flip your paper over, you can press a little harder and rub and really get all those edges to stick down. Next, we need to tear some circles to be the snowman. You might be able to tear them just thinking about what does a circle look like and how can I tear that with my fingers. Or it might be easier for you to draw a circle with a pencil and then try to tear on those pencil lines. Now, you're not going to get exactly on top of the lines because we're tearing instead of cutting. If you are really having trouble tearing, I do want you to practice tearing. That's part of the reason we're doing this project. But if you're trying the tearing and your circles aren't coming out very well, you are welcome to cut them out instead. But try the tearing first. Now I had pencil lines, so I'm going to flip it over so the pencil lines are hidden in behind. Tearing again. I tore a big piece of paper off of my larger piece of paper. This makes it easier to work with. So instead of trying to have that whole sheet of paper, I just tore off the section that had my circle drawn or where you would want to tear the circle out of, and that makes it a little easier to maneuver that paper. If my circles are different sizes, I'm going to put the largest one on top. The largest one on the bottom. The biggest snowball goes on the bottom, and then they get smaller as they go towards the top. If all three are the same size, that is also okay. You can just stack those three right on top of each other. I thought that maybe since I had a headpiece that was a little smaller than I wanted, I decided to make a baby snowman next to a grown-up snowman or a kid snowman next to a grown-up snowman. So I am going to make a body for that tiny circle that I made. It's a kid, so it's only going to have 2 circles instead of 3. That way I'll know it's younger and smaller. And then I'm just creating another circle to be the head of my grown-up. So you can just make one snowman. You could make your whole family out of snowman. So if you have sisters and brothers and yourself, you can make those out of 2 circles. If you have grown-ups in your family, you could go ahead and include them as 3 circle snowmen. But you only have to make one today. Those are just additional choices that you could make to make your artwork personal and individual. So now I'm gluing the largest circle down first, the largest one first, and then layering as I go up. The bottom, then the middle, then the head, if it's a 3-part snowman. You could even make a 4-part snowman. That is up to you. Your snowman should have at least 2 parts, though. Traditionally, snowmen have 3 parts. So here's the 3rd part of my grown-up snowman. I had accidentally started to glue down the side that didn't have the pencil marks, and I wanted to hide the pencil marks, so I already had glue on it, so I needed to make a new one real quick. All right, so now I have my snowman on top of a snowy background. I'm really pressing those pieces down to make sure they stick, and then I can finish this up using my crayons or colored pencils or even markers. That part could be up to you. I'm choosing crayons. I picked orange to make a carrot nose, black to make coal for the nose and the eyes, and then white can actually be used on the background to make it look like snow. So there's a carrot nose. It's like a long skinny triangle on its side. So a sideways pointy triangle or a long arrow that's closed at the end. I put the nose on first because sometimes the mouth would get covered up by part of the nose. So I wanted to know where's that nose so then I can see where do I have room to put my coal eyes and my coal mouth. Using little circles to represent coal pieces. So instead of just one straight line for the mouth, I put dots or circles next to each other to form the smile. To make snowflakes, you could use little dots. You could use an X and then put a line from top to bottom and a line from side to side. That's another way to make snowflakes. I'm doing a variety in mine. We'll need to add some arms. I'm using some brown to pretend like they're sticks. And then at the end, I'm adding like a little Y, right? And then one extra little line. So I made it a straight line coming out at a diagonal and then added like a Y at the end. That makes it look like a stick. Now if you want to add, you could be finished just by adding some more snow if you've chosen to add snow, or you could add some more details like a scarf or a hat. You could add a pet or some sort of animal if you wanted to your picture. Really any sort of details to the snowman or to the picture in general that you would like to add with your crayons, or if you're using colored pencils. Markers, if you're using, you won't be able to do the white snowflakes in the background, but if you use markers, you could use your markers for some of your things and still get your white crayon out so that you could add snow. I'm trying to make mine look like a bit of a Santa hat, so I'm trying to fill that blue part in with white so it kind of blends in with the snowman head. I didn't like that, how that my hat crossed over my paper. So sometimes when artists are working, they revise, they make changes to what they've done. And that's what I did there. First I drew the hat over top, and I didn't like how it was half on the blue paper and half on the white. So I was able to tear the little bit of extra white paper off and make the hat that way. Now this one, I just didn't cover up any of the snow. I just made the hat starting on top of the snowman's head. I'm going to add some patterns. And you're probably far enough along. You could go ahead. There's only about a minute left of the video. You could just start to work on your own. You might want to work on it step by step along with me, stopping and pausing. That is always okay. At this point, I'm just adding those finishing details, coloring in the second hat that I drew. And now I just need to finish up the snow and it will be all done. I hope you enjoyed making some torn paper snowmen with me today. This is something that's a fun activity to do. I think it's fun to build a real snowman with the snow, but when we don't have snow, it's pretty fun to be able to make them in our artwork, and it definitely shows our Pennsylvania winter season. In our state, we usually get snow in the winter time. Sometimes we even get a snow day from school, or we stay home because it's snowing, and building a snowman and or making art can be a fun thing that we do on those days. There we are. There's our Pennsylvania winter snowman, snowmen, torn paper collage.